Welcome to Being Real with Olivia. My name is Olivia Ollinger and I love movies and shows. I have been recapping every episode of Arcane Season 1 since Season 2 is coming out this November. This is Episode 5, so if you haven't seen the other videos yet, go check them out. But if you have, then let's get started. In the last episode, we saw how Powder became Jinx and she is now working with Silco. She stole Jayce and Viktor's Hex Tech orb invention that they just created, forcing the council to shut down all magical innovations like the Hex Gates. Caitlyn goes to Stillwater Prison to interrogate a prisoner about the recent attacks, but instead she finds Vi, where it turns out Vi's been held in prison the whole time. This episode starts with Caitlyn and Vi talking. Caitlyn questions Vi, thinking that Vi works for Silco. She shows Vi evidence from a recent crime scene which has Powder's symbol all over it. Vi recognizes it and makes a deal with Caitlyn, saying that if Caitlyn breaks her out of prison, she'll help Caitlyn with the investigation and capture Powder and Silco. Agreeing to the deal, Caitlyn gets Vi out. Jayce is feeling overwhelmed with all his new expectations as councillor. He had made a promise to his partner Viktor that they would work on their new inventions and they would help the city of Piltover keep progressing, but they would also help the undercity. And Jayce is focusing more on Piltover now, and he's not even helping Viktor. And Viktor's sickness is getting worse every day, and now it's starting to kill him. And now Jayce has a target on his back. Since he closed down the Hex Gates, which were the center of trade, everybody's wondering and watching what he's going to do next. People want to take his power, and they're doubting him based on his recent decisions. Once again, Professor Medarda persuades Jayce to talk to other investors and the other councillors to keep people, still locked in and somehow try to convince them that he knows what he's doing, using Jayce as a pawn in her bigger game. Meanwhile, in the undercity, Jinx has been trying to activate the magic in the Hex Orb that she stole from Jayce and Viktor. But every time she tries, she freaks out and gets flashbacks from what happened the first time she used it, where she killed everyone, showing how traumatized and insane she still is. Vi and Caitlyn head down to the underside where she sees how much everything has changed with Silco now being in charge. Keep in mind, Vi has been in prison for years. Last time she was in Zon, Vander was the ruler, so everything was somewhat tame. There was still crime and poverty and people who were, plotting against him, but they were doing it, behind closed doors. Now with Silco being in charge, everything is wild and crazy, and there's a lot of fighting and shimmer going around. Vi gets coordinates from a place that will help her and Caitlyn find out where Jinx and Silco are. If you can remember from the first few episodes, Piltover Enforcer Marcus, he's still working with Silco. Although now he's starting to doubt himself and doubt Silco, because Silco doesn't really have a plan yet, not one that he's putting into action, because he needs Jinx to activate the Hex Tech Orb, which he's struggling with. The bad guys aren't really doing so well, and Piltover is starting to get suspicious of Marcus, because with Head Officer Grayson being dead, now Marcus is the new head officer. And since he's working with Silco, he can't, rat them out and, show Piltover who's causing the attacks and the destructions, so he keeps blaming it on the group of people known as the Fireflies. But the council has no evidence and proof from it, so they're starting to think that he's up to something. Viktor has been trying to harness magic in a new way, using these magical runes that, the original warlock people or whatever, the old magic wielders, used in the past. Viktor believes that the magic can change and it can evolve and adapt, be taught. But it doesn't seem to be working, and it doesn't help that Viktor's on his own, because Jayce seems to be getting distracted. Viktor keeps pushing himself too far, and his sickness only gets worse and worse the more he does. So it gets really bad and he passes out in his own blood. But the gemstone seems to react to this, and it takes a drop of his blood and makes it become a part of itself, taking the sample and bringing it in and forming and combining the DNA. Which we don't really know what this is gonna do, or if it will have any positive or negative effects, but it didn't look to be too good. Usually whenever blood is involved to like open something or unlock something, it's not usually a good sign. In the Undercity, Vi goes to find Sevika. She is really angry and needs to take it out on someone. And who better to fight than the woman who helped be a part of Vander's death? The fight was going well for Vi until Sevika, some would say, cheated and used Shimmer for her weapons and like let it take over her body. Sevika tells Vi that Jinx is working for Silco willingly, which gives her some mixed feelings about that. Caitlyn saves Vi, but Sevika gets away. She goes back and tells Silco that Vi is alive. Silco is kind of screwed over because he told Jinx that Vi left her and like just abandoned her and didn't want her or need her anymore because he thought that Vi was dead. But now that he knows that Vi is alive and she's back in Zaun, he like completely lied to Jinx. And if Jinx finds out that Vi like never actually meant to leave her, she just got thrown in jail so she couldn't save her, Jinx is gonna go back to Vi. So he's gotta somehow keep the sisters from finding each other. Things are starting to pick back up in the show. Vi is fresh out of prison and ready to bust some skulls and get her sister back. Caitlyn is ready and desperate to prove herself to the council that she can actually solve a case. Jayce is focusing more on the council duties and he's not really focusing on his dreams and passions in the Undercity, which really needs help compared to Piltover. Back to the Fireflies, we still don't know who they are or whose side they're even on. All we know is they're definitely not on Silco's side because they tried to destroy his shipments. But we also don't know if they're on Piltover's side because they're doing it in a reckless way that also harms the upper city too. They haven't been seen in this episode, but they were mentioned. They seem to be laying low right now, so hopefully we'll see what the deal is with them in any future episodes. I would like to talk about my opinions on some of the background characters that are getting more screen time now. Like Marcus, for example. Overall, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I mean, he's just trying to, like, protect his daughter and do what's best for her, which is still in a bad way, but he knows if he crosses Silco, they're both screwed. But if he goes against Piltover and the council finds out he's working with Silco, then he's probably going to get banished from the top side and have to go live in the underside. He's, just trying to look out for his kids, so I mean, I don't really blame him. As for Sevika, I genuinely do not like that woman. The only thing I like about her is her name, because it's really pretty. But besides that, that woman genuinely gets on my nerves. She was someone that Vander really trusted. Like, Vander only had, like, 2 people he really trusted, and that was Benzo and Sevika, and she betrayed him and joined Silco. And now she's annoyed at Silco because Silco, like, is choosing Jinx over Sevika, and, like, is not really listening to Sevika with how crazy Jinx is. It's like, this woman can never be happy. Like, just pick a side. Like, this lady, she keeps double-crossing people all the time. She definitely seems like one of those friends that would, like, talk bad behind your back in school, but then, like, to your face, be like, oh my god, you're so great. I like Caitlyn, though. She seems chill. She doesn't really trust anyone, doesn't really trust Vi, but she just goes with her. She's independent. She likes to prove herself. She's like, I don't need anyone looking out for me and protecting me. That was my thoughts on this episode. So hopefully in the next episode, we'll get a little more action. If you've seen the show or episode, feel free to comment your thoughts. And don't forget to like if you've enjoyed and ring the notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss any more Arcane or movie reviews. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you around.